Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England is an Intamin mega coaster that has the potential to be one of the best roller coasters in the world, but it has one vital flaw that holds it back. So let's talk about the ride experience. Superman is in the very back of the park in the DC themed area. I use the word theming lightly here. It's more themed than your average Six Flags area, but it's nothing to write home about. While waiting in the ride's queue, there are a handful of signs, but that's about it for theming in the line. You do get pretty close to some of the ride's track, which is fun to watch. Once you get into the station, you climb into your seat and pull down the lap bar and begin up the 208-foot tall lift. This lift is very slow, but it gives some good views of the park and the river bordering the park, so it's not that bad. The drop that follows the lift is really big. I didn't get much airtime on it personally, even in the back row, but it's still really fun because it goes underground. This underground section makes it so the drop is 221 feet long, even though the ride only reaches a max height of 108 feet. This drop gets you to your max speed of 77 miles an hour, and at the bottom of the drop, you pull some decent forces. The drop takes you into a massive airtime hill. I didn't actually receive much or really any airtime during this hill, which is really disappointing because it looks like it should give some absolutely wild airtime. And to be honest, I didn't experience much airtime throughout the entire ride. Once you get out of the airtime hill, you go into a forceful overbank turn and then into some low to the ground track, which I found to be really fun. Following that are two big airtime hills, which I did receive a little bit of airtime on, and then you transition into the twister section of the ride. During this section, you take a bunch of fast, low to the ground turns that provide some decent forces, and then you take a turn that goes underneath the path. This moment was really fun to watch while standing on the path and is a highlight of the ride itself. Once you come out of that turn, you go into a bunch of smaller airtime hills, but they're trimmed so they don't really do much in the way of airtime, and the ride ends with a turn into the brakes. On paper, the layout of this ride is absolutely incredible. It looks like it should give some amazing airtime and provide some good forces, but this ride is really held back from greatness by the restraints. The lap bar in this ride is wildly uncomfortable and dug into my thighs. I really couldn't ride this coaster more than twice in a row because I needed to take a break from these lap bars. They pushed into my thighs so hard that any moment that should have provided airtime only provided pain, and it was virtually guaranteed that they would be on the tightest setting possible because the ride ops pushed it down crazy hard and the ride's forceful moments pushed it down even further, which is really unfortunate. This ride's layout provides for some really good forces and it has pretty good pacing. It might sound like I didn't enjoy my rides on Superman, but it wasn't that bad. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10, but I only have it as my number 3 ride in the park behind Wicked Cyclone and Batman, which may end up being a hot take. I think this ride has massive potential to be number 2 at the park, or maybe even number 1, but those lap bars really hold it back. Another ride that has massive potential is Jersey Devil at Six Flags Great Adventure, and I have a full review on that coaster right there.